Everyday English listening. Let's listen to English every day because it helps us improve our listening skills, understand pronunciation better, learn new vocabulary, and become more confident in real conversations. Keep practicing.
Miss hugging my mom. There are many things we take for granted in life until they're no longer within reach. And for me, one of those things is hugging my mom. It may sound simple to some, but that one embrace holds a world of comfort, warmth, and love. I miss hugging my mom more than words can describe. I miss the way it made me feel safe, the way her arms wrapped around me like the softest shield against everything that hurt. I miss the silent message that every hug carried. I'm here, and I love you. A mother's hug is like no other. It doesn't matter how old I am or how far I've come in life. I still long for the embrace of the woman who raised me, comforted me, and loved me unconditionally. Her hugs were more than physical touch. They were emotional healing. When I was younger and had a bad day at school, all it took was one hug from my mom, and suddenly everything felt a little less painful. Her arms were my first home, a place where nothing could go wrong for too long.
Now that I'm apart from her, whether because of distance, circumstances, or time, I feel the ache of her absence deeply. Sometimes, I close my eyes and imagine hugging her again. I picture her soft voice saying, "It's okay. I've got you." I remember the familiar scent of her perfume, the way her arms gently squeezed me, and the steady beat of her heart that I could hear when I rested my head on her shoulder. Those memories bring tears to my eyes, not because they're gone, but because I miss them so much. Hugging my mom wasn't just about comfort. It was about connection. It was the way we expressed love when words weren't enough. When I did something I was proud of, I'd hug her tightly and feel the pride in her heart too. When life felt confusing or uncertain, her hugs reassured me that I didn't have to face anything alone. Even when we didn't say a word, those moments of embrace were filled with deep emotion, understanding, support, patience, and care. There were times when I didn't even realize how much I needed a hug from her until I was in her arms. The weight I carried in silence would melt away. She never needed to ask what was wrong. Somehow, she just knew. Her hug said, "You're safe now." And in those moments, I was. I didn't need solutions. I didn't need explanations. I just needed that hug. Now, when life gets tough, I still find myself reaching for that same comfort. I'll sit quietly, close my eyes, and wish I could be with her just for a moment. Sometimes I cry, not out of weakness, but because I miss that kind of love. The world can be a difficult place, and there's something about a mother's hug that makes it all feel manageable again. It doesn't fix everything, but it gives you the strength to go on. Even the happy moments feel a little incomplete without her hugs. I want to share my joys with her in person, not just through a phone call or a video chat. I want to run to her and wrap my arms around her when something good happens, to feel her joy mixing with mine. Her hug was always the celebration I needed, the high five I loved, and the soft whisper of, "I'm proud of you," all rolled into one. Sometimes, I scroll through old photos and find pictures of us hugging at birthdays, holidays, or ordinary days when one of us just needed the other. I look at those photos and smile, even as tears fill my eyes. Those pictures remind me of how lucky I am to have someone whose hug I miss so much. Not everyone has that kind of relationship. I'm grateful, even in the missing. I've learned that distance makes love stronger, and missing someone can deepen your appreciation for them. The more time passes without a hug from my mom, the more I treasure everything she is and all the love she's given me. I never realized how powerful those little moments were until they became memories I hold onto in my heart. There's a unique comfort in a mother's embrace that nothing else can quite replace. I've had hugs from friends, relatives, and loved ones, but none compared to the way my mom held me. Her hugs were full of history, of bedtime stories, home-cooked meals, school plays, tears wiped away, and countless whispered prayers. Her hugs carried the weight of everything we've shared and the bond that time can never break. When I do finally get to hug her again, I know it will be emotional. I'll hold her longer than I used to, not wanting to let go. I'll hug her with all the love I've been holding inside. I'll try to soak in every second of that moment. Her warmth, her presence, her love. It won't just be a hug, it will be a reunion of hearts. It will be healing. It will be everything. Until that day comes, I'll continue to carry her love with me. I'll hear her voice when I need strength. I'll remember her hugs when I feel alone. I'll remind myself that even when we're apart, her love surrounds me like an invisible hug. Always there, always strong. Sometimes I write letters to her, even if I don't send them. I write about how I feel, how much I miss her, and how much I can't wait to see her again. Writing is my way of closing the distance, of turning the ache into something hopeful. I believe that love never fades, even when it's separated by time or space. I miss hugging my mom. I miss it more than I can say. But in that longing, there's also beauty, because it shows just how deep our bond is. The fact that I miss her this much means I've been blessed with someone truly special. Someone whose love leaves a lasting mark. Someone whose hug is a treasure that no distance can ever erase. So I hold on to hope. I hold on to love. And I carry her hugs in my heart until the day I can hold her in my arms again. Because a mother's hug is forever. And I know that the next time we meet, that hug will be the sweetest one yet. Each day that passes without being able to hug my mom feels like something is missing from my life. It's not just about physical distance. It's the emotional connection, the warmth, the reassurance, and the comfort that only her embrace could provide. Hugging my mom was something I used to do so naturally, so effortlessly, that I didn't even think about it. But now that I can't, I realize just how much it meant to me. I miss it deeply, with every part of my heart. A hug from my mom always felt like a moment of pause in this fast, chaotic world. Whether I was rushing through school, dealing with deadlines, chasing responsibilities, or simply feeling lost, her hug was like a reset button. It slowed everything down. In her arms, the world became quiet. I didn't need to pretend, didn't need to explain, and didn't need to hold back tears. I could just be her child, her loved one, her everything.
Sometimes I think back to the little moments that seemed so ordinary at the time, but now feel precious. I remember sitting beside her on the couch after a long day, and how she'd gently pull me into a hug without a word. Or the way she used to hug me before bed, every night without fail, reminding me that no matter what happened during the day, I was loved and safe. Those moments weren't loud or grand, but they were powerful. They built a foundation of love that I still carry with me. I also miss her hugs during moments of celebration, after a school performance, after good news, or on birthdays and holidays. She would wrap me in her arms, smiling brightly, and say something like, "I'm so proud of you." That hug made the moment complete. It wasn't just a physical act, it was the emotional confirmation that my joy was her joy, and my success was hers too. Now, even when I have happy news, I find myself wishing I could share it with her in person, to see her smile, to feel her warmth, to melt into that perfect hug. Then there were the harder times, times of fear, failure, or disappointment. During those times, I needed her hugs the most. When the world felt heavy, she was my safe place. Her arms were strong, soft, and always ready to hold me through my worst days. There were times I cried in her embrace, and she didn't try to fix everything. She just held me. And somehow, that made things better. Her hug told me, "You don't have to carry this alone." It was a form of healing no medicine could provide. Now, without those hugs, I've learned how deeply physical touch matters in expressing love. It's not about grand displays of affection, it's about the genuine presence of someone who loves you without conditions. I try to stay strong, to keep going with my daily life, but there's always a part of me that longs for just one more embrace with my mom. Just one hug to remind me that no matter how far I go in life, I still have a home in her arms. When I see other people hugging their moms, in movies, at the airport, or on social media, I smile for them, but a part of my heart aches. It's not jealousy, it's a quiet ache that comes from love. A love that's been put on pause, but not forgotten. Sometimes I see older mothers hugging their grown children, and I imagine myself in that picture, holding onto my mom with all my heart. That simple act means the world when you don't have it anymore. I often dream about my mom, not just in sleep, but in the quiet spaces of my day. In those daydreams, I walk through the door and see her waiting for me with a warm smile and open arms. I walk straight into her hug, just like I used to. No words are needed. That hug says everything. I missed you. I love you. I'm glad you're here. I wake up from those dreams with a bittersweet feeling, grateful for the memory, but aching for the real thing. There's something so powerful, so deeply human about a hug. It's one of the first forms of comfort we ever receive as babies, and one of the last things we remember in moments of sorrow or joy. A hug from my mom always felt like a return to the beginning, a return to safety, to love that didn't have to be earned. I didn't have to be perfect. I didn't have to be successful. I just had to be me. And that was enough for her to pull me into her arms and hold me close. Sometimes I try to recreate the feeling of her hug with things that remind me of her, her favorite sweater, her perfume, her voice messages. But of course, none of these truly replace the real thing. They're like echoes of something beautiful, but the real hug, her warmth, her heartbeat, the feeling of being surrounded by her love, that can only come from her in person. And oh, how I miss it. There's a special kind of silence in my life now, the kind that you notice when something precious is missing. I go about my day, doing the things I need to do, but deep down, I carry a quiet longing. When life gets hard, I find myself wishing I could just cry in her arms, the way I did when I was a child. Even now, as an adult, I realize that there is no expiration date on needing your mom. We grow older, but the child inside us still yearns for her touch, her presence, her protection. It's not just the comfort I miss, it's the connection. Hugging my mom was a way of saying, we belong to each other. No matter where I go or how far life takes me, I'll always be part of her, and she'll always be part of me. That connection gave me confidence in the world. Her hugs were like silent reminders that I was loved beyond measure, and that no matter how confusing or scary the world became, her love would remain unshaken. I often think about all the times I didn't hug her long enough. All the times I rushed through a goodbye. I wish I had held on longer, looked her in the eye more often, said, I love you more clearly and more often. We never know how precious a moment is until it becomes a memory. Now, I promise myself that when I do see her again, I will hug her tighter than ever before. I will soak in that moment, breathe her in, and let her know just how deeply she's missed. Hugs with my mom were never just for me. They were for her too. I could feel how much love she gave in each one. I remember when I hugged her after she had a long day, how she held me a little tighter, like my presence was a kind of medicine for her soul too. It's easy to forget that moms need comfort too, and I'm proud to know that in those moments, I was also her safe place. That thought comforts me now, especially when I feel like I have nothing to give. I remember that just my love was enough. There's also something deeply spiritual about a mother's hug. It's like being wrapped in unconditional love, the kind that asks for nothing in return. That kind of love is rare and pure, and once you've felt it, it lives in you forever. Even when my mom isn't physically near, I carry that love. It lives in my actions, in my thoughts, and in the way I care for others. I try to spread that same warmth in my friendships, in my family, and in the way I show up in the world. I sometimes wonder what my mom feels too. Does she miss my hugs as much as I miss hers? Does she remember the same little moments, the times we hugged just because, the quiet hugs before bed, the quick squeezes before I left the house? I believe she does. A mother's heart remembers everything. I believe that somewhere, whether near or far, her arms are still open for me, and she's still sending love through the air, through the prayers she says, through the thoughts she holds in her heart. Every time I look at an old photo of us together, I pause a little longer when I see us hugging. Those photos speak volumes. They show love in action, not just in smiles, but in the closeness, in the way her hands rest on my back, in the way my face relaxes against her shoulder. Those photos are frozen hugs, memories caught in time that I can return to whenever I need to feel close to her again. I try not to let the missing turn into sadness all the time. Instead, I turn it into motivation to cherish every moment I get with her, whether through a call, a message, or eventually, that long-awaited reunion. When that day comes, I know I'll cry tears of joy as I run into her arms. That hug will carry the weight of all the days I longed for it, and all the love we couldn't express from afar. Until then, I find peace in remembering how her hugs made me feel strong, loved, calm, accepted, and never alone. Those feelings don't disappear. They live in me. They give me strength on days when I feel small or discouraged. They give me hope that no matter what life brings, love like hers never fades. And even in missing her hugs, I feel gratitude because not everyone gets to experience that kind of love, that kind of bond. So yes, I miss hugging my mom every single day. But that missing is a reflection of something beautiful, something lasting, something real. Her hugs were more than moments. They were anchors, guiding lights, and quiet songs of comfort that will echo in my heart forever.